And then secondly, and it just happened, it was on my list before I even did it, playing a song for somebody else.
Oh, you playing the Lady Gaga song for me?
And
you felt embarrassed?
And I'm like, what do I do? Because like I really like it, but like, do you like it?
Yeah.
And like, do you feel obligated to tell me that you like it? What's going on in your brain? Do I play the whole song? Do I cut it off at my favorite part? Do I just send it to you so you can listen to it later? Like, why have I now put it on my phone? And like, what's the appropriate volume?
I did ask you to play it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that feels embarrassing to me.
I understand that. And I don't know if that's worse or better than showing someone a video that you thought was going to be funny.
Ooh.
And then you're like 3 seconds in, they're not laughing.
You're like,
you were supposed to laugh at that
let me
part.
rewind that. Did you miss?
Yeah. See that again?
They said that we'd grow out of it. Well, the joke's on them, that's just our brains. We're eccentric, loud, and stubborn, and most of our clothing is covered in stains. It's not a deficit of attention, there's just too much to think about. So if executive dysfunction becomes a little too much, if you forgot why you came in this room, or you're hypersensitive to touch, then put on your seamless socks and come join our little flock. Bitches stimming together, we're weirds of a feather, weirds of a feather.
You have a moment where you realize that you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
This is just
more
happened.
about that.
Yeah.
This is like a thing I never knew existed, and now
You don't need to know about it, you know?
I mean, I guess I don't understand the why.
I think it's more so realizing like, wow, there's so many different things that people are out there doing. Like that we have no idea about.
So many things to get into.
Yeah.
Gymnasium is packed.
Yeah.
Full of
There's
people.
so many people watching Morris dancing. What is that?
Yeah.
What even is that? Truly, we can do whatever we want. There's going to be an audience for it. Kind of gives me the confidence. Just like hobby horse girls. I'm like, wow, look at that. It's a whole sport.
Don't knock my dream, all right?
Well, Kylie and I have a plan to get her daughter into hobby horsing.
Yeah. And she's showing some really early promise.
Yeah.
I will fully fund
She
that.
picked up a hobby horse all on her own at the toy store.
No force.
No force. She got on it and she was doing the hop. I sent you a video.
Yep.
Like
Like a
she
natural.
is.
We gotta get her in.
She yearns for the horse. She does. It's in her blood.
One, don't get her a real horse.
No.
My brother made that mistake, and don't do it.
Oh my God, what a dream come true though. Like what kid doesn't want a real horse?
I know,
right?
And
A lot of
Oh
maintenance.
my God. If you read, have you guys ever sought out your childhood diaries?
Ugh, yes.
I threw all mine away.
Yeah, I
when
think
I was in high school. I had like a moment, and I was like, I don't need a diary.
Yeah, I think I
Mine-
got embarrassed by mine.
Yeah.
The one that I found that my mom kept
I would love to
had
read
like
yours.
maybe 3 entries. And on one page, it was my fully convinced reflections that my parents were getting me a horse for Christmas. Like full leg. I talked about how I put out the Uncle Henry's circled with the horse that I wanted to get out of Uncle Henry's. If you don't know what Uncle Henry's is, it's a classified book.
It's still a thing.
I think they actually just shut it down.
No,
Like within the last year. It's not a thing anymore.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Like garbage.
I like
That
so like the
sucks.
whole entry like details like how I put the horse out there and like then the next entry was just they didn't get me a
Pissed.
horse.
That's it.
That's it. And that's when I stopped writing in my diary.
Devastating.
Wow.
Devastating.
It really broke your spirit.
Yeah. But you know, I narrowly escaped being a very serious horse girl.
You-
I did ride horses,
you
but like I
would
didn't
have
have my
been.
own. Yeah.
You kind of had horse girl energy, which once again I think is just autism. But you have big horse girl energy.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, just without the horse. Kristin too, although she was scared of them.
I was
Just kind of a general
I was
horse
like a
girl
horse
aura.
girl wannabe, but I was also terrified of horses. They're just like too. There's no controlling a horse in my mind.
They're wild.
It's a feral animal that I don't understand. I'm still kind of scared of horses, but I was
Yeah.
obsessed with them, like
From a distance.
from a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you both would have thrived with hobby horsing.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if your parents had gotten you into hobby horsing.
Yeah.
But I was already like just such a nerd. Like, can you imagine if someone then put me on a stick?
No. Put you on a stick. That would have pushed you
They're
over
like,
the edge.
go. Yeah. And
Yeah.
not that being nerd is a bad thing.
No.
But I just like,
I think
ooh.
There are certain social
you would have
implications.
found like a thriving hobby horse community, and you would have.
It would have
Done
changed
what?
the course of my entire life.
Mhm.
For sure.
Where would I be now? Would I be here? Would I know you?
Hobby
I
horse
know.
Olympics.
Would we
yeah.
have even met? Would you have gotten a hobby horse scholarship and gone to an
It's-
out-of-state
It's
school?
really hard to tell, like how these little micro decisions throughout our
Right?
lives have, placed us where we are here.
It's
Yeah.
so many little things.
Yeah.
And even me and you, we were both unfortunately dating absolute assholes who almost ruined our lives, but it brought us together. And ultimately, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, we
Solidarity.
survived.
We survived. And here we are stronger than ever.
Mm,
I'm proud of you
thriving.
both.
thank you.
And where are they? They're nowhere. You hear that, fuckers? We got the microphone, so we can say whatever we want. Yeah. But you never counted on this 15 years later, you fuckos.
I'm gonna let you take that one.
Gladly. That's why I started a podcast, so I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, I guess let's get this hobby horse on the road
Yeah.
and say welcome to Weirds of a Feather, an AuDHD-Adjacent podcast. I'm your host, Grace Beret,
And I'm your host, Kristin Stanhope.
and we are back with the wonderful Kyle Lowe, aka Kylie. When-
Kyle was a nickname for a while when I worked at the radio station. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it based on the fact that they called you Kyle as you walked across the graduation stage of college?
No, but that did happen. Like, guys,
That
You
seems
remember
like
you
low-key
had to-
devastating.
You had to write it
you had to write
phonetically.
your phonetically.
Well, they also called
Joel
Joyce.
Yes.
which is right.
Joyce and Kyle. Those
And
are
we
my two memories from graduation.
never let it down. We
No.
still call him Joyce.
I still call Kylie Kyle.
yeah.
So never
Yeah,
live it
I-
down.
I forgot about that for a little bit, and thank you for resurfacing it.
You're
for me.
welcome.
Yeah.
I'll never stop thinking about it. Yeah. All right, we're back and we are here for just segs. We got a little serious in part 1, so go check that out if you haven't heard it yet. But now we're ready to get a little loosey-goosey with the segs. Ooh. Yeah, let's just get into it. Yeah, start with This Is Who I Am Now.
Yeah.
You know who you are now.
Oh, wait. I don't want to start.
Okay. That's fine. All right, we got to do the song
Yeah.
first, though.
We get a song.
All right, so it goes, this time it's different, everything has changed. And then Kristin will start us off with the round. You can go second.
And I
and
go,
I'll
this
finish.
is who I am now.
You
And
go,
then you go.
This is
And then
who
you
I am
go.
now. This
This is
who
a
I
new
am
one.
now.
This is a new song. yeah.
Relatively new, yeah.
As
it's a
in
re-
the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
No.
yeah. Yeah. So really lets us know where you are in the
Sorry,
keeping up
guys.
with listening process. But yeah, it's a new fun round. And then we like to stretch the sound out as long as possible at
Mhm.
the end and just like really
Not
hold
that
that-
anybody really enjoys it except for us.
we do, and we think
but
it's hilarious.
We
and
think
that's all
it's
that
funny.
matters.
And,
Okay.
yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah, so just really try to hold that note.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be accurate.
No, the worse the better.
Yeah.
Okay.
The people crave it.
Yeah.
All right, you got it?
Nope.
Okay.
No,
I'll just
you
follow
just
along.
Jump
All right.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna be
Kristin
great.
will point at you.
Yeah.
Because she'll do the this
Yeah.
is who I am now. And then you do this is who I am now. And then I'll do this
Oh, you're
is
gonna
who I
go
am.
last?
Yeah, I'll go
okay.
last.
You'll,
Okay.
you'll wrap it up
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
I'll just follow your
Okay.
tune.
Yeah, Kristin
Okay.
will point at
I
you.
can do that.
This time it's different. Everything has changed. This is who I am now.
This is who I am now.
This is who I am now. There you go.
Actually,
okay.
we're great.
Yeah.
Sound pretty
That was
good.
great. That was one of our better ones.
Should we start a singing
I
trio?
think-
Do we have
Let's do
something
it.
going?
Yeah, we
I
gotta
think
find
I
a
might
cool
have something,
name.
I
guys.
think we might have
So.
something here.
I call tambourine.
Fine,
That's
done.
all.
Sure.
That's all I can do.
Sure. Let her have it.
I won't fight you for it.
Yeah. All right, Kristin, why don't we start off with you then?
Yeah.
Kristin.
Yes.
You know.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with the LDS.
I see you have written down LSD, and I
Oh.
want to say that's a dyslexia mistake. Or is it a Freudian slip?
Oh my god, it is.
It actually says LSD and then MN,
then,
which is
yeah.
nothing. So LDS is
Yeah,
what that is meant
it's-
to be. I was like, that is like classic dyslexia.
Yeah. I actually.
LSD
Oh,
for
man.
LDS.
You
are a
I'm gonna
walking
keep it.
stereotype.
Yeah. If you didn't point that out, I would have never known.
I know. I figured you didn't even notice.
Right now, I'm actually having some of our med students proofread my notes because my dyslexia is just like on the next level. They like just point out really obvious mistakes, and I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, they're really
Thank
fun to find in
you.
our script. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, Kristin, you just moved on from that thought before you finished that word.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. LDS.
Yeah.
Tell
LDS.
us more.
Now I have to change it.
LSD would be more fun.
Yeah,
honestly.
I know.
I wish it was
I
LSD.
wish. No, it's so the LDS, formerly known as Mormons, but they don't like that term apparently.
Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah,
they
it's
distanced
like
themselves.
a slur now. So
Oh.
yeah, we're not supposed to say it.
Okay, but what about the TV show?
Yeah.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Well, they're not
Oh.
LDS, I think. LDS is like the extreme version, right?
Well, I don't know. I guess I should
don't
ask the
know.
expert.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's all in one.
Well, apparently
Right.
not. It's like when people from Quebec don't want to be called Canadian, they want to be called Québécois.
I did not know that.
Yeah, do
Oh,
not
geez.
call them that because they get very
Or
mad.
else.
Québécois.
Speaking from experience.
No, I've been listening to it's more like I'm obsessed from afar because I'm not very religious. I was at all, and but I'm like fascinated by the concept of religion, I guess, recently.
Hmm.
And I'm listening to a lot of podcasts, especially about the LDS church and then like crimes committed within the LDS church. Like there's a lot of there's like the polygamy aspect, there's the like child marriages aspect, there's the covering up like
The garments.
no, I was gonna say like
Covering up their crimes.
yeah, covering up their crimes and like what was clearly like assault and then so I just finished that book by Sherry Frankie.
Oh, yeah, I'm reading that too.
Oh my God, it's like
The 8 passengers.
yeah, the 8 passenger people. Ruby Frankie and that whole like
yeah.
true crime story.
Horrific child
So
abuse.
not only did I finish that book, but there's also another podcast that's doing like a 9-part series on crimes from the LDS community and like how they're covering up and now I'm going to start listening. There's a podcast called it's Mormon Stories. And it's just ex-Mormons telling their stories and they're all like horrific.
I
And
watch a lot
I
of
just
TikToks
like
about that.
I could get into that.
Yeah,
I, like,
think you really
can't-
enjoy it.
and then like I listened to a podcast that kind of like explains like the background of the religion itself and the whole Joseph Smith thing and like there's tablets involved and
That he
like,
made up. He made them up. And that's
like,
been proven.
Why are we anti-coffee but not anti but if it's soda it's fine but tea is also okay. I'm just
Can't be hot.
it can't be hot but tea's fine apparently. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm like fascinated. I can't get enough of it. And I'm just like, I'm fascinated by it. And I just want to like talk about it, but it's like not like a kosher thing to talk about at work.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, every once in a while, I'll find like someone who's a fellow atheist, and I'm like, we need to talk.
I think we should do some Patreon content.
I'm like,
because I could talk about it forever.
I view it as if I was like a child, and this is going to sound wrong and probably offend people, but I'm just like fascinated by looking at it from afar as like a child goes to the zoo and looks at the lions,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not in the lion den like wrestling them, but he's like pretty interested
taking it in. Yeah.
taking it in.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do. I just want to take it in because it's just
Well, it's a cult.
it's yeah, I guess it's like true crime and how people are fascinated with true crime, but like the aspect of, and now I'm getting into just like religion itself, like major religions itself. And I don't know, I grew up in the Catholic Church, not for me, clearly. And I think I'm just having like a moment of like reflecting on religion, and I don't know, I just like can't get enough of it. I can't.
I understand it and I respect it and I
Mhm.
support it.
I don't know enough, and I know just enough to be like kind of dangerous because I don't know enough about it, but it's not going to stop me from learning more about it. I need to like take notes next podcast I listen to, you know?
Yeah, you should. And then we should chat about it.
It's wild.
Have you ever covered a cult on your podcast?
I've talked about or have wanted to cover a pseudo cult, or like there were suspicions that there was going to be a cult forming in northern Maine in Aroostook County.
Ooh.
And the guy, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to trigger him, but he stormed the Capitol.
Oh, one of those patriots.
So I think what ended up happening is he just went into a small town in northern Maine and started squatting at a house and refused to leave, and people made up a lot of stories about him. But I think a lot of the things were a little bit true as far as his behaviors and the things that he talked about. And
does libertarianism count as a cult? I feel like it's very cult-esque.
I don't think they're organized enough to be a cult.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to have some kind of structure.
Their whole thing is like no structure.
You need to have a charismatic leader. Even if it's like not one person, you have to have this like ideology of like charismatic people at the top.
Got it. Okay.
So I think they're all about individuality. So it's a bunch of people who have like that kind of cult mindset, but think that they're not in a cult. And I think that's very cult-like. You know, is like we're removed from the group, we're above it, but it's like, no, now you're kind of just forming your own like really restrictive group.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Grace.
Yes.
Who are you now?
Had a really big buildup, and it kind of petered out.
Really petered out. Yeah.
Peter. I am a spring cleaner.
Oh.
The season is hitting me. All of a sudden, in the last week, I'm just like bustling around the house, getting so much done. Sunrise, not really though, but like maybe 8 a.m. But like I'm waking up, I'm hitting the ground running, I'm working till sundown and then some. Just like, I don't know what's with me. Like it must be something that's ingrained in all animals, right? Because like you think about it, a bear wakes up from hibernation, they've got to like clear out their den, and all their
You're
like,
just waking up from hibernation,
wrappers, right? And I feel like it's just like it feels very primal.
Yeah,
like
I think it is.
Right? I'm being awoken with the sun, the longer days, and I've felt I'm riding that high. It's of course the all or nothing thing with ADHD. Where I'm like, this is me forever. I'm gonna be like this forever, and I'm never gonna stop, and I'm gonna clean every single day. And I know that's not reality, but I'm kind of trying to enjoy it while it's here. Yeah.
That's so exciting for me to hear.
Yeah? Are you proud of me?
Because that's the thing that like I get really amped up about spring cleaning.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm happy for you.
Caught the bug. I mean, my
Feels
house
good to
still
be
looks
here.
like this, but you know, it's a long process. So I have made a lot of progress, believe it or not. All right, Kylie, are you ready?
Yeah.
Kylie. You know.
I've been reading.
Thank you.
I've been reading fantasy books.
Ooh.
Whoa. Right up Kristen's alley.
Yeah, romantasy.
Is
Like
that
fairy
what it
smut.
is? It's
Fairy fuckers.
the dragon smut, Fourth Wing.
Ooh,
Oh, yes.
Lily got us into that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I
Didn't they come out with a new one?
Third one, yeah.
I don't know. I'm still on book number 2.
There's this. How many books are there?
The third one just came out.
Oh, I got to read the second one.
Yeah, I like look forward to it all day long, like
Wow.
crawling in bed with my Kindle and reading about a world with a bunch of different rules and like names that you can never sound out in your head.
That's why you do the
Because
audiobook.
they smash together a lot of consonants that don't make sounds together.
No, they can't be pronounced.
Yeah, like, and that's not although I say it's not my genre, but like I was definitely the kid who was obsessed with Harry Potter, read all the Harry Potter books like the night they came out, read
Hunger Games.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I was like, why wouldn't as an adult I also be into similar genres?
Yeah,
but
you've
then,
always
like,
been into
just
fiction.
Just
Yeah.
throw like smut into it and like, okay. Yeah, like I read
I love the
fantasy.
smut.
I read
Yeah,
fantasy
that's
books
the
now.
best.
I think that's great.
And it's really nice because the subject matter I handle on a daily basis is so heavy and so real. And like my fears and anxieties and like parenting stuff is so real. I want to go and read about something that could never happen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
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 And it's a very nice escape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
I think that's the magic of it.
Yeah.
It's nothing that's going to like trigger a real world anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to worry about this dragon battle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I
I
love
read
Fourth
fantasy
Wing.
now.
yeah.
My only problem with
It's a fun
Fourth Wing
phase.
was the name of the guy.
Zayden?
Pick a different name.
Dane?
No.
Oh.
Zayden is the one I have the problem with.
I know you have such a problem with it. And I don't really understand.
I'm like,
I think it's fine.
I just feel like I can't get over it. It's the wrong name. Just a different name.
Like what?
Any other Aiden. Just take out the X. I just feel like
But she tries to make all the names like very fantastical. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't just, I mean, I guess there are some people named Zayden, but like I haven't met one.
No, I've never met one. But then you have Dane, which is like such a
Dane.
boring Dane. Doofus name.
Yeah.
When you are reading books physically and you get to names, are you like trying to sound them out and see how they would sound? Or are you kind of just like, "Ugh," like you just like look at the letters, you're like, I got the gist of it.
I make a choice at the first time I read a name of how it's going to be pronounced in my head.
Hmm.
And then I stick to it.
And then do you get really weirded out when someone says it like a different pronunciation?
Yeah.
I
I
hate
mean,
that.
I think it's getting turned into a TV show.
Oh,
It was
is
an
it?
Amazon series. I think that's what
Oh,
my
shoot.
Kindle says.
Ooh.
And so I would be weirded out if I'm like, that's not how you say that.
Yeah.
You got it wrong.
Yeah.
Skagel.
Yeah. You got it
It
wrong.
sounds like Kegel, the dragon.
And when you're learning about the characters, are you like picturing anything in your head? Like, are you the type that gets mad and you're like, that's not how I imagine they would be pictured? Or are you just kind of like not picturing anything?
You mean like who would I cast as those
Yeah,
characters?
just,
Oh
like,
yeah,
what
I
they look
have
like?
to. I have to cast a character in my head because as I read, I see the pictures in my head.
Wow, like you
Mm.
actually
Yeah.
see them like they're real?
Yeah,
Don't relate to that at all.
yeah.
Can't
so
see anything.
that's why I love reading so much, and
Mm.
and my husband cannot relate. He like doesn't understand how
Can't read.
I do that. He can't,
You can't
read.
even do it.
He can do a lot of other things though.
Yeah.
So I picture them in my head, and I'm like seeing the scene play out, and so I have to cast
Hmm.
the characters. Although I'm having a hard time casting Violet.
Yeah. I was wondering
Because
about
there's
her.
not a lot of red-haired women in film
Is
and
she
TV
re-
right now
Is she red hair?
She has
Doesn't
red
she
hair,
have
right?
silver hair?
with streaks of silver. Isn't it red
Oh.
with streaks of silver?
I literally do not pay attention to character
I
descriptions
just- I
at all.
Really?
Because it doesn't
Like-
matter to me.
I kind of picture, I do like half and half. I don't picture like very detailed characters. I picture almost like an outline. And when I picture Violet, I just see like the back of her big gray head. Like she has all gray
I
hair
don't
to
think
me.
you're picturing her
Yeah, that's
properly.
wrong.
To me,
Yeah,
she's
that
like
is
a little
wrong.
tiny woman with a big head and it's all gray.
Why? No.
I don't know.
No, I don't think that's right.
No.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah, you're just objectively wrong.
That's my Violet.
Wait, I have to tell you the name of the actor who I casted for Zayden in my head. And do
Please.
you watch the show The Pit on Netflix?
Oh.
I've heard of it. I don't watch medical shows because
Yeah.
I get
Typically
mad.
I don't either.
I heard
Chris
it's
put it
actually
on.
quite accurate, but I also hate going to the emergency department because it's so chaotic.
Yeah, and
prefer
the
the
whole
OR.
show is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you watch that? on
Yeah,
your free
I
time?
just I feel like I get enough of that at work, and
Mm.
I do my best to avoid the emergency department.
What is his name? He plays Mateo on The Pit. Jalen Thomas Brooks.
Show me.
Hold on, Jalen.
Show me to me,
Oh,
Rachel. Jesus was seen.
This is Zayden in my head.
Whoa, yes, that
Whoa.
is Zayden. Yeah.
So-
okay.
Listen
All right.
to the people casting the show. I don't know what stage of production it's in, but Jalen Thomas Brooks, he's a promising up and coming actor.
Rising star.
Only has a couple thousand followers on Instagram because I checked. I was like, maybe I just came up with this and they're already doing it.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's our Zayden.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
I think being a casting director will be a really fun job. It's all about like making connections.
Yeah.
Of, like imagining, which you have to be able to like picture things in your head and imagine, but I feel like you'd be pretty good at it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
It'd be fun.
Right?
As far as the other characters, for some reason, I always default to what is it, Taylor Lautner for like every other male character I read about. Like I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
But-
I do that with Jennifer What's-Her-Nuts from
What's her name?
Hunger Games.
yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer
That's who I cast as Violet in my head.
Ooh,
because,
that's good.
right?
Mhm.
Because Hunger Games, and so I feel like that's the closest reference I have to this type
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
fantasy. And so I think my brain just kind of like filled her in.
Huh.
She's probably too old for the role at this point. I
Yeah.
think you want someone younger, like a Zendaya type age,
Oh, that would be good.
right?
Yeah.
But if she's supposed to be a redhead,
Is
I
she
miss
like
the
now?
red
I'm like
hair.
questioning. I'm like, I thought she was she had red hair but silver streaks.
you guys could tell me anything. and I'd be like,
Probably.
sure, that sounds right. I literally do not pay attention to character descriptions at all.
Huh, that's really interesting.
I
don't pay
just thought
attention
it
to
was all
names.
gray.
Like I have to really focus because I'm like I need to be able to picture them
Yeah.
in my head.
See, I can't picture anything in my head, so it's like, what's the point?
Hmm.
Yeah, I just think about their character traits like as a kind of amorphous collection of traits rather than like person.
Hmm.
It's interesting
I'm
how
like
like
we're
50.
different.
I'm in between.
we are different.
We're different, you and I,
aren't we? Yeah. In many ways, we are very different. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
Anyway.
All right.
Let's get on into more segs because Kylie, I want to hear all your segments for all the things because I've been waiting with baby breath for this day. Let's do the quirks.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. I need my kazoo.
Yeah.
That trumpet thing.
This is a kazoo.
It's,
You know it.
Yeah, it's the kazoo. And then also,
Obviously.
we have kazoos.
Yeah, do you want a
So
kazoo or do you
want
wanna
a
sing?
kazoo or do you want to sing? And you get to keep your
Um,
kazoo.
Oh, so
We'll
it's a
give-
fresh kazoo because
Yeah.
that was
No,
a
we got-
hesitation.
we have
a whole
okay, I'll
bag
take a
of-
kazoo.
A bag of kazoo.
Yeah. The old kazoo sack. Yeah, of course we have fresh kazoos.
Well,
Let her pick her own.
Yeah.
Ooh, just a.
the whole bag.
I think purple. I think Clara will like purple. So we'll go
Oh,
with
that'll be a treat for you
Yeah.
to give her that kazoo.
She has a harmonica, and
Uh,
it actually doesn't bother me.
Yeah?
when she starts making random noises.
oh.
Yeah. Nope.
No,
Nope.
you had it right.
Did I?
Oh,
Which way? No, I think you got it.
that one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's more of a hum than a blow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it needs the vibrations.
Yeah, I feel like we as adults forget what the
How a
kazoo
kazoo-
entails.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you guys are going to kazoo together.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for being a good sport.
Yeah.
People call me Stacy, some people call me Fun, but I'm just quirky.
I think we nailed it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we got it.
No need to redo that at all.
No, we got it on the
No.
first take.
Yeah.
Does every guest do it with you?
Some sing,
Yeah, some don't want to participate in the kazoo, but
they're afraid of the zoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but there's nothing to be afraid of.
You really
And it's a
embrace-
really beautiful
yeah.
instrument.
it really is.
It's
Yeah,
really, it's misunderstood.
classic traditional instrument. All right,
Oh my
Kylie,
God.
we've been waiting for so long. Please tell us your three quirks.
Okay, we kind of got into my quirks in part 1, but I'll do a refresher course. I do have a number 3
Great.
that we haven't gotten to yet. So, first off, I have to repeat the names of my daughter, husband, and 2 dogs in order as a plane takes off. Then we reach cruising altitude
OCD.
to ensure that the plane doesn't crash.
Yeah, yeah. It's your
Mhm.
duty.
Yeah.
Someone's got to.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do it on landing?
Nope.
Or just take
No,
off?
landing feels so safe to me, which I have been proven. That's been proven not the case.
You think
Mhm.
all
recent
parts of
events.
flying are?
No, the middle part's
The
fine.
middle part's fine.
You're not going to crash from turbulence.
Yeah.
It's like being in Jell-O, is what I've been told by a pilot. It's like if you put an object in Jell-O and it's like solidly in the Jell-O, even if the Jell-O's shaking all around, it's
object is
really
still in
the
there.
object is really solidly in the air, and it's
Mm.
not really at risk
Yeah.
of falling out of the sky.
Yeah.
It's the takeoff and the landing.
Mm.
Yeah. Landing feels really safe to me. I don't know why.
Hmm.
So, but who knows? I'm going on my first flight since like all the air tragedies. So
Mhm.
we'll see what new quirks develop.
Yeah, what your brain comes up with is a safety
Yeah.
mechanism.
My second quirk is that when I fill up my car and I have a full tank of gas, this first thought that enters my brain when I sit down in the driver's seat again is like, okay, if there's anything terrible that happens, I at least have enough gas to get away
Hmm.
and save my family.
I've never thought about that one single time.
So I don't know if it's because growing up when there was winters, I feel like used to be a lot more terrible when we were
Yes.
kids.
Mhm.
Like
Really
way like
were.
storms. Maybe it was our child like brains.
Could
or, like,
also
they
be
seemed worse.
climate change.
Ice Storm in
Could be
98,
that.
man.
Yeah,
Ice
that
Storm
was
in
actually really
98
bad,
fucked us
yeah.
all up.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was like the thing was always like buy milk and bread and fill up your car with gas.
Mm.
And so I connect filling up your car with gas with like safety and preparedness.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I just did it yesterday morning. I took my daughter. We went and got munchkins. We went and filled up the car with gas. Then we went to the car wash. And I was like, oh, good. Full tank of gas. We can get away if we need to.
Wow.
And then third is when I drive, if I'm driving anywhere at night or in the morning where like I think that no other cars should be out, because like, what are you doing out at this hour?
Yeah. Even though you're also
Even though I'm
there.
also out.
Yeah.
And I see something like if this morning driving to my spin class, I saw a car parked on the side of the road with their lights on. And in my brain, I'm like, okay, I'm going to look at the time. I'm going to remember what street this was on. Because if this person was doing something nefarious, I'm going to be the one who's able to tell investigators, yes, it was precisely at 5:45 on this road. It was a this color car. It was pointed this direction. And I try to retain like very specific information about things that seem out of the ordinary because I want to be the one that like is able to report
solve the crime.
Yeah.
I've heard of OCD creators on TikTok talking about that exact same thing that they do.
What?
Yes.
I do that occasionally. Like if I see
Really? Yes,
something
that
that
exact same
almost
thing.
looks suspicious, I'm like, let me just note the time here. And then like 2 seconds later, I forget all about it. I'm on to the next thing. But I do like, if I see something, I'm like, that looks odd. I'll just like date, time, look at my surroundings. But then I forget about it.
Yeah, see, I still retain it. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't retain that or think to do it in the first place. I've seen,
Also, I don't watch
specifically in the context
news,
of
so
OCD.
if like a crime happened, I wouldn't know about
Yeah,
it.
and is
Yeah,
it
what are you
like,
gonna do with that
related
info?
to my job and like my awareness of knowing like when they say if you have any information, call and report it. And I'm like, I'm gonna be the one to report it. Like I don't know if it's because it's not because I want the glory
you
of
want
like
the glory?
solving a crime.
Yeah.
It's like
Are you sure?
I don't know if maybe like being aware of an invented bad thing
Yeah.
is like making me safer.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't
Is it
know.
like an anxiety preparedness thing?
Yeah.
It's not that you want the credit.
I
for
don't
solving the crime.
know.
Are you sure?
I'm
'Cause
sure.
I would want the credit.
No, I don't think I would want the credit for
Oh.
solving the crime. It's like really, it's
Oh.
like, it feels like something I'm like protecting myself
Yeah.
with. I don't know.
Yeah, that feels pretty OCD to me.
I don't know. It's one of my quirks.
Who even knows with you? You, Kylie, are so quirky.
Yeah, I
Just
know.
normal quirky girl things.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
just, we're all a little quirky.
yeah. Just nice and
Everybody
nice
does
and
this.
normal.
The girls.
What do you
Everyone-
do when the plane takes off?
Everyone does it.
You tell me you do nothing when the plane takes
No,
off.
I do nothing. I'll like hold on to the seat, the armrests.
I kind of like when the plane takes off because then you're kind of like,
I hate it. I feel
No,
very
it's the
stressed.
worst. It's the worst.
it kind
15
of
minutes
feels
of my life.
nice.
It's bad.
I
don't-
hate it.
Almost like a hug without a hug, you know? Like that
Uh.
pressure without someone actually hugging you.
Speaking of autism. Like a Temple Grandin squeeze machine?
But without like the physical contact of another
Yeah.
human being. Yeah, that would be really nice.
Again, I don't relate.
Nope.
Also, while we're on that subject, I feel like sensory stuff is another thing I left out in our first discussion about autism. But I
Oh.
feel like you have a lot of sensory things, sensory needs, sensory quirks, or specifications.
Yeah.
You're bothered by things.
Well, it was revealed to me recently, maybe in like the last year and a half, when I started working with noise canceling headphones. I'm like, I can work better when these are on.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it's really nice. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah. You have like it seems like you have a normal relationship with hugging as opposed to me, which your husband loves to make fun of me for, is my
Well, because
avoidance
he's
of
married
preferred
like the
hug.
king of hugging.
Yes. Ian loves to hug. God, he loves to hug.
And I've heard funny stories. Like Chris has told me that Ian has like shown up when there was a contractor at our house. We were like in the middle of a home renovation project. And he showed up to either help or just say hi. And he like went immediately in for a hug with Chris. And the contractor was like, what?
Never seen two dudes hug before?
is this?
Yes. Just guy pals.
Yeah. I say like a neutral hugging.
You're neutral on hugs.
I'm neutral.
Do you have a
hugs.
preferred hug?
good
Like a
question.
preferred, like you want a tight squeeze or like a pat on the back, side hug?
I think just like get in, get out.
full frontal.
Yeah.
It's the social part of it, right? Like that
Yeah.
would be the most uncomfortable for you, not the physical contact.
Yeah. The physical contact doesn't, I get.
How do you decide?
Your turn. Kristin has a lot of questions about hugs.
Okay.
As
See if
someone
I can
who's
answer
not a
them.
big hugger.
I'm hug neutral. Yeah, so
As
let me
I'm
neutral.
asking someone who's hug neutral.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to ask the question.
I can't wait to hear it.
No, it's a safe space.
How do you decide who gets a hug and who deserves the hug and who doesn't?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an eye contact, like
Oh, well, there's our
unspoken.
problem.
You're out.
Oh, no.
Step one, you have to make eye contact.
Okay, follow-up question.
Yeah.
What happens during do you make specific eye contact that's like, now we hug?
It's definitely an unspoken, like,
An
"I'm doing
acknowledgement,
this," like,
yeah.
Like, is it
and
an
there's some
eyebrow
body
raise?
No,
or
it's
is it
just
like a
you make
hug
eye
now,
contact
wink?
and you have like certain body language. Like, I'm good at signaling when I don't want to hug. I feel like, because like we'll have like guests show up or someone will show up to the house and everybody else is hugging, but I'm like, no, it's okay, we don't have to hug. And I like kind of angled my body in such a way.
I do that as well.
But then there's like people in my life where like I know they are huggers, so I will hug with them. But I guess I'm never the initiator because I'm so hug neutral. Then I'm like, we don't have to press our bodies together, right?
It's
Yeah,
weird to be forced to press your bodies together.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big thing with kids.
Interesting.
Lots
Like
of pressing.
raising a child now, and having older extended family, aunts and uncles, my grandparents wanting to give Clara a hug because that's what you did as a kid, like go hug your grandparents, and Clara not wanting to. And I'll say, do you want to do a hug? Do you want to do a high five? Or do you just want to wave goodbye?
Love it. Love
And
that
most of the
strategy.
time
Yeah.
she said no and turns around and continues whatever thing she's in the middle of.
Oh, yeah, Clara.
And I really try to bear the brunt of the response for her, like from, whatever extended family member it is. Like, oh, you don't want to give me a hug? And like,
Ugh.
and I do think they've like picked up enough of my strong vibes. Like, she doesn't have to touch you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be weird to
And
make
she
her.
sees
Yeah.
you twice a year. Why does she have to press her body against
Right.
you? But
Yeah,
like,
she doesn't
there's
know
also
you.
some people where I haven't dropped my kazoo.
Oh.
Where I haven't even prompted her with like her options, and she goes in for a hug.
Mm.
And so like, okay, you're feeling it, go for it,
Yeah.
girlfriend. So yeah,
I feel like I'm on the opposite end where one of my nephews, or my niece actually, really likes to go in for a hug. I don't know if she was like, I don't know. She's a hugger and she's like, we hug. And I'm like, oh.
Do you feel like
Okay.
uncomfortable even with little kids that you're related
With
to?
no, the only time I feel uncomfortable is when I know that they're sticky,
Yeah,
you know,
they're
and you're
always
like,
sticky.
oh, I need to wash my hands, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's better now that they're older, but when they were like real young, toddlers, more
Yeah.
than anybody,
Oh yeah,
they're
always
sticky.
got stuff
Level,
on
yeah.
them.
or just snot, and you're
Oh, the snot. I can't do the snot.
they're like outdoor kids, they're like semi-feral, and
free range.
You put them on the run, and
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a
They-
shot collar.
They
They're
spend
fine.
a lot
They
of
have
time
invisible fence.
outside. Well, they live in like northern Vermont, and they're like barefoot, which is great. It's good for them to be outside.
Yeah.
But they're like, right after baseball practice, they're like
Yeah.
sweaty, and they're like, "Oh, Archie," and I'm like, "Oh,
That's okay.
Hello, young man.
Yeah.
Little handshake.
a little tap on the head. Now go play."
The 2-year-old I babysat for, he kissed me on the knee the other day as I was leaving. I was like, that's perfect. He
Yeah.
kind of semi-hugged my thigh. I was standing and he was standing, and he's a little guy, and kind of gave me a little thigh hug, and then he kissed my knee. I was like, perfect. That is
Perfect.
perfect. That's my PH
That
right
is-
there.
Yeah.
Preferred hug.
That's
Preferred
nice,
hug. Kiss
yeah.
my knee and then
Knee
move along.
hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really glad we brought up preferred
Yeah,
hugs,
I'd
honestly.
say. I
think
feel
it's
like we
important to
brought it
ask
up with
every
every
guest.
guest.
Because it's all so different, There's
We've
huge
hugged a
variation.
handful of times.
We have. Yeah. And I
And I
don't
really do feel like it's been like, I'm gonna hug you now.
Yes. Yeah.
You feel
You
obligated?
initiate me and you
Yeah.
say, I'm going to hug you now. Like
Yeah.
every time you say, I'm going to hug you
Yeah.
now. Which I would prefer. If for me, it's like Kristin's like, doesn't like the touching aspect. I don't like the social aspect of like, are we hugging?
We're doing
Should
this
we hug?
thing. Yeah.
So if someone's like, we're hugging, I'm like, great. You've like taken that choice away from me.
Mhm.
I would prefer, I like when someone comes in and they're like, we're doing this. It takes the awkwardness out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
we have
fair.
hugged, whereas Kristin and I do not hug.
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
It's not something we do in our friendship. Isn't that
Are we
interesting?
supposed to?
Well, we've covered this before. Do friends hug?
Do friends hug?
Find out soon.
Coming up.
Coming up at 9. Yeah.
In a town near you.
Do friends hug? I think some friends hug and some friends don't.
Yeah.
And that's all you can say. All right. I think unless you had an info to dump on, I think we're going to skip in front of info dumps.
I don't have an info to dump on.
That always makes us go way too long anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So without further ado, I think it is time for Alternative Segments! Alternative
Segments!
All right, on this week's Alternative Segments, which one are we doing? Did you have one in mind for this?
Wait, what were my options again? 'Cause I
How
took
did
a
no one
bunch
catch this? Things that are embarrassing for no reason, which is the segment you
doing that one.
invented.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to do things that are embarrassing for no reason?
Yeah.
All right, we're doing things that are embarrassing for no reason. And Kylie, this is a segment you invented and you didn't even really realize it, but you texted me about how embarrassing it is to wait for ice cream by yourself. And we talked about that on the podcast.
Remember that.
Yeah.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah, you gotta ask
It's always
the-
like a 14-year-old kid with a worker's permit sitting behind the counter, like ready to scoop you ice cream, and you as a grown-ass woman are like, yeah, and rainbow sprinkles.
Yeah, please a treat for me.
God, does
Yeah.
not get any worse.
Yeah, so childish.
Yeah.
I got a haircut the other day and I just went to
kill me.
Supercuts, but it was really busy. But I made like an online appointment, so I got in, and then the wait line, there was only like one girl there, and the wait line was there. I have long hair that takes a while to dry, and so everybody's waiting for me for this one lady to and then she's like, I'm gonna turn you, and I'm just facing the line of people waiting, and it's all
You're
like
in your stupid little black cape.
yeah, my dumb
and you look
black
like a
cape,
lizard.
thick neck.
and it's just like a bunch of men who probably have like 15-minute haircuts,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I need my hair dried, and it takes forever, and I was just like, I just want to die.
Yes. Does Erica know you're going to Supercuts?
Don't tell her.
She listens to the podcast.
I know
so
she
you just
listens to
told
because
her.
it's just it takes. She's always like 6 weeks booked out, and I'm not organized enough to go down there.
All right. Acceptable. All right, Kylie. Let's get back to your things that are embarrassing for no
Don't
reason.
tell her.
I'm going to tell her.
Don't tell her.
Erica, Kristin's
Don't
cheating
tell
on you.
her. I just it
go to
was like
fucking
a
Supercuts.
one-time deal. I just really needed it.
That's what they all say.
Dirty.
Just one
It
time.
was
just one time.
I swear.
Didn't mean anything.
It was your fault. You were booked up. You know, if you had been more
She also
available, I
like
wouldn't
is
have
like
had to
super
cheat.
pregnant, and I didn't, and everybody's like trying to get in before she has her baby.
I think she had the baby, didn't she?
Oh, maybe.
I think she had that
Do we
baby.
know? Do we know the baby dimensions?
I don't have the dimensions on hand. Sorry, Erica. Get back
Send
to us with those
your baby
those
dimensions.
BDs, baby dimensions. Yeah. All right, but Kylie, back to your things that are embarrassing for no reason. Do you have one?
Yeah, I have two.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Can't wait.
First is seeing a grown man in his socks.
Interesting.
When
Just socks?
no.
Slip and slide
So
around the
like
house.
you have company over
Mhm.
and there's always this, well, this is also embarrassing for no reason. Oh no, you keep your shoes on, it's fine.
And you're like, are they just saying that?
Or they just, I should take my shoes. She doesn't have shoes on. Should I take my shoes off?
Yep.
But then like you have maybe another couple over for a dinner party and a grown man is standing there in his socks and they're like grayed from overwashing and like
Mm.
pilled and you're like,
Yeah.
ugh.
It's like seeing how the sausage gets made. Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing a grown man in his socks. So
It's embarrassing for him.
Well,
is what you're saying.
no, I get like secondhand
everyone.
embarrassment.
Yeah.
It's the topic of secondhand embarrassment is interesting
Mm.
to me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I feel it a lot.
Viscerally. I
Mhm.
experience it so viscerally.
Oh yeah.
I think it's our mirror neurons. I think that we have really, really strong mirror neurons that we're like experiencing what someone else is experiencing.
Okay.
It's like that hyper empathy.
So it's a real phenomenon.
Yes.
It's not just like, okay.
no, I think it's a real thing. And I
There's,
think
like-
it is our mirror neurons.
Yeah, there's some shows I can't watch because I get so much secondhand embarrassment.
Scott's Tots. Fucking
Scott's
kill me.
Tots, and then what's that movie with Ben? Meet the Parents.
Oh, I cannot. Ian
cannot,
always
I
wants to
can't.
watch that. I'm like, I can't.
I can't.
Wait,
The
Scott's
volleyball
Tots from
scene.
The Office?
Yes.
That one episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Stott.
Ooh.
What's he gonna do? I can't.
Mhm.
Ooh, yeah, I just had a
Yeah, you're like
reaction. to
squeezing.
that. Yeah, I never
Kazoo.
thought about that one.
That one
Mm.
pains me. I've
Yeah,
obviously
skip.
watched it before, but like I skip it every
Skip.
time on a rewatch because
Huh.
seeing it once was enough.
Yeah, I know what happens.
Yeah. And it's like I don't need to
Don't like
watch
it.
that again. Yeah. So it's
Ugh.
definitely a very real visceral
Okay,
thing.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely seeing the grown man in his socks is like embarrassing. So like those are so many ones.
Yeah.
And then secondly, and it just happened. It was on my list before I even did it. Playing a song for somebody else.
Oh, you
Yes.
playing the Lady Gaga song for
Yeah,
me?
and
You felt embarrassed?
And I'm like, what do I do? Because like I really like it, but like, do
Are
you
you gonna
like
sing?
it?
Yeah.
And like, do you feel obligated to tell me that you like it? What's going on in your brain? Do I play the whole song? Do I cut it off at my favorite part? Do I just send it to you so you can listen to it later? Like, why have I now put it on my phone? And like, what's the appropriate volume?
I did ask you to play it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that feels embarrassing to me.
I understand that. And I don't know if that's worse or better than showing someone a video that you thought was going to be funny.
Ooh.
And then you're like 3 seconds in, they're not laughing.
You're like,
you were supposed to laugh at that
let me
part.
rewind that. Did you miss?
Yeah. You see that again? And if it's a TikTok, with Ian, I'll let it like loop a couple times. I'm like, you really need to like
Catch
get the
it.
whole
Catch it.
thing.
Yeah.
But if they're not feeling it, it's like, at what point are you like, never mind, nope, never mind.
Nope, bail out.
And sometimes I do that where I'm like, you know what, this is a bad idea. And I
Yeah.
can see now that it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's super embarrassing.
I get that. I understand that.
At my old job, one of the PAs loved to do New Music Friday, where we would play like whatever Apple Music would have for new music, and we would each pick a song. And I would like, because he's a Gen Xer and I am a millennial. And so I would like scour TikTok for like the newest, like peppiest song. And I'm like, this is it. This is going to be great. And he'd be like, oh, let me just like look on my Apple Music and see what's new. And I'm like, I've tailored this New Music Friday song for this office right here. And you've put because I was so worried that people weren't going to like the song that I picked. And then he's just like, let me look. I'm like, put no effort in this.
Yeah.
And he was like totally unbothered. He's like, this isn't a great song. And I'm like, okay.
I think that's the problem is like that we put so much thought and energy into these things that we don't really need to. That like it feels very personal when someone isn't reacting the way that we thought they would or wanted them to.
I thought you would like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand playing the song for someone because when do you end it?
Yeah.
Where do you look?
You
Does
look at
everybody
them. Sit in
Mhm.
silence. Do you like chat during it to like make it less?
Are we just
awkward?
both sitting there staring
Yeah.
straight ahead, absorbing the song? And these are thoughts we're having with close friends. So these are things we're anxious for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah, there's no reason to be worried that I'm judging you. We're friends.
Yeah. And yet,
And yet, I think you really internalized that anxiety well in that situation because I couldn't sense that you were so stressed about
it wasn't
playing.
coming through with like my head bobbing and stuff.
I kind of had the gist that you were feeling a little uncomfortable about it,
Mhm.
but you really persisted. You really persevered.
Good.
You pushed
Got to
through.
know those masks are still strong.
It's solid. It's up. You were cool girl central. So
The coolest.
yeah. All right. Well, this has been Things That Are Embarrassing for No Reason on Alternative Segments. Alternative.
Segments.
See, now I feel kind of embarrassed having you watch us do this whole little thing that you're not a part of. And it's like,
I'm
all right,
having
just
a lot of
very
let 'em go.
entertaining.
Yeah.
And like you guys seem like you're totally in your power right now. Like
Yeah.
this is your thing, and I'm just watching two masters at their art.
Right? Don't we sound like a couple like
and
morning show
I'm not saying that like
jockeys?
facetiously. Like I legitimately am watching you two do a thing that you're good at. And I'm like, this is entertaining.
Thank you. It doesn't feel impressive when we do it.
No.
Oh well, I didn't say it was impressive.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. That's me putting words in your
I
mouth.
just said it was fun
It's-
to watch.
Yeah, you're right.
Because sometimes
Good
we've had guests on who are like adamant listeners of the show, and they like come in knowing the songs, and you're like, great. But then like when we had Ian on trying to explain the horse train meet cute, and he was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what is happening?
Yeah, there's
Just let us
there's
go.
some things that are just not worth explaining, I think.
Because there's not really a way to explain it. It's
Yeah.
illogical and
Had
doesn't
to
make
be
sense.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah.
to be there.
And even we were there and we still don't really know what happened and
Yeah.
why.
Speaking
of that,
horse train meet cute.
yeah.
Maybe we should just move on to the Pizza Secret
Yeah,
song.
Maybe we don't need to
skip
do
this transition.
Yeah, we don't need to do the whole song and dance. We can just go right into Pizza Secrets to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know the song?
Pizza
Pe-
secrets.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Classic.
It's our best song.
All right.
Pizza secrets, tell me your secrets. Pizza secrets.
Nice and high.
Yeah.
I realized, did we sing the Little Accomplishments theme song in part 1?
We did.
Did I not
Right?
join in? Because that's the one I'm like, little accomplishments, but big in our hearts.
No, I think you joined in.
Okay.
Did
I
we?
think so.
All right.
Right?
I just want to make sure I didn't miss that one because that's
We
one
can
like
that
re-sing
one.
it right now if you
It's
want.
okay.
I mean, it's
okay.
our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we can put songs in here and there and
Mhm.
everywhere.
Mm. No, it's okay. We'll keep it rolling.
All right. I'm pretty sure we sang
Full
it.
steam
You
ahead.
know, this whole
Okay.
day's been a blur. All right, Kylie. Let's wrap things down by sharing a shitty little thing you did or something that you feel some way about and you want to get it out off your chest and into the world.
The same night that Last Girls Laughing was born, we were making food in your apartment. I think we were making pasta with butter and cheese,
Sounds right. Yes.
and which is the height
Classic.
of culinary
Classic
creation.
dinner.
Yeah.
I slammed that when I was pregnant. So we were cooking something, and I used a pot holder that was, or like a oven glove thing
Yeah.
that was like apparently a very special pot holder oven glove thing that belonged to your roommate.
Mm-hmm. Who I like wasn't good friends with at all. She was Max's friend who I just like happened to live with.
Yeah, I put it down on the burner and it scorched it.
Forgot that was you.
And I remember you like kind of gave me some grief about it. You're like, "Ooh, those are like really important." Maybe like her grandmother.
They were
owned
from
it?
Ireland.
Okay, they were from
First of
Ireland.
all,
They're like
yes.
a souvenir.
Yeah. I don't know if she'd just gotten them or they were like a family heirloom or
If
something.
they're that important, not in the kitchen.
Not in the basement apartment.
No,
Yeah.
no. And she was a senior at Simmons because Max and Laura, my roommate, were seniors at Simmons, and I had just graduated and was, I guess, an adult. And so, yeah, you're a senior in college. You don't need these fancy oven mitts.
No, and I
No.
remember they were like
Also,
kind of
like-
floral and
Yes,
like
they were like very intricate,
Decorative
Yeah,
oven
decorative.
mitts. Just
Yeah.
like hang them on the wall or something.
Yeah,
if
don't
they-
Yeah.
use them.
well, I think that's the thing though, is I think they were intended to be decorative, and I
Mm.
used it and
Oh.
scorched it.
Yeah. And it had like the rings
Yeah.
burned into it, like with the electric burner. All the rings were burned
Yeah.
into it.
And I remember we just had a moment like we just hung it back up with like the burned side against the wall.
And that's a classic Grace move, is where
That's
I kind of just
exactly
hide it
what I
like a
would've been-
child
yeah.
and just hope no one notices or
Yeah.
that they
At
won't
least
think
you
it was
move
me.
out by the time that they noticed.
Yeah,
or-
but I think she did notice pretty quickly.
So yeah, that's a shitty little thing I
That is a
did.
shitty- I totally forgot that was you who did that.
oh my god.
I thought you were going to talk about us eating the tops off the cupcakes at the
Oh no,
work party that we
had
broke into.
absolutely no regrets about doing that.
Yeah,
that was not
same.
shitty
Wait,
at
now
all.
I need to
Yeah.
know the cupcake story.
We busted into a corporate Christmas party, some
Yeah.
sort of
When was this?
Back in sometime in Boston.
2013.
A lot of shit
Yeah.
went down in Boston.
Yeah, we really went through a drinking phase, didn't we?
Yeah.
We were kind
And
of
what's
feral
crazy
in
is
the
all
city.
these moments, same night. Like the night had so
Yeah.
many different phases.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, and I remember I was wearing a purple bodycon dress with with an infinity scarf
Oh,
and a tasseled purse. Like
this
I
is like
had
the
all of them.
most
Knee high,
millennial
like the knee
outfit.
high, but like slouchy boots.
Mm.
So we were leaving the concert. I think it was an Every Avenue concert.
Yes, it was.
And did you go to it, or you just met
Yeah.
me after you came to it? It was like their farewell tour,
Mm.
and we had consumed some adult beverages, and we went to a bar, and there we could hear music coming from the back of the bar.
Yeah.
And they let us, and we wanted to go to there.
Yeah.
And something was kind of lost in like, we were like, we want to go to that party. And maybe the people who worked there thought we worked for the company who was having the private party in the private room. And they
they
let
took
us back through
Didn't
the
they go
kitchen.
Through the kitchen? Yeah.
Through the kitchen.
They like took us back. Yeah.
And like down a set of stairs.
like a secret set of stairs.
And there was like this private room where this corporate party was going on, and they
Yeah.
had like a spread out of desserts. And there was cupcakes.
yeah.
And we just ate the frosting off the top of the cupcake, left the cake part
Oh
Yeah.
my
there.
Yeah.
And then I think I kind of had a moment where I was like, ooh, we should actually probably get out of here. Like this is pushing me past my rule breaking like limits. And so we got out of there. But yeah, we just ate the tops off of cupcakes and
skedaddle, hit the road. Got what we came for.
That's about as like wild as my stories get, though, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's a wild story.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like all of our things like that aren't like, it was crazy, we almost died. They're things that are like, I guess, like, why'd you do that? Like, it's crazy in the sense of, like, why? Just, why'd you go there?
It's funny now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's for the bit, you know?
Yeah, it's for the bit.
It's for content.
Do it for the story.
Yeah, we really did. Yeah. And there was that other time that weird guy, like, followed us, came home from the bars with us, even though neither of us planned to sleep
Different
with him.
apartment.
And then he snuck out. He snuck out in the middle of the night because we made him sleep on the couch.
He was so upset. He gambled that night. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go home with somebody. He picked us.
Yeah, there's two of them. Yeah,
Wrong
big mistake.
decision.
And we get back to Grace's apartment. He's like, I picked wrong.
Yeah, it was just kind of
to the
basement.
We were basically doing like talking like this and like with our like little jokes that he did not.
Yeah,
he was
he was
way
just
on the
there.
outside of, and we were like laughing at each other and like getting caught up in giggles. And he's like, oh no,
mistake.
Like get out of here.
Yeah. No, that was at my other apartment that you had also lived in after me. The nice one
in Washington Square?
in Brookline. Yeah.
Nice is an understatement. Nice from the outside.
Well, it was.
I thought it was
nice.
actually, yeah,
Right?
The
the charm.
windows didn't go all the way
If
up.
you didn't know that the roof was caving in, you would think it was nice.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
that you didn't have to know that it was condemned the year after we moved
No.
out.
Literally,
Doesn't matter.
The year
Doesn't
after, like the
matter.
second we moved out.
Yeah. But no, remember that door, that like side door in the apartment that went like down the back stairs?
Mm.
He snuck out in the middle of the night. He like left it open. Just like left. We woke up in the morning, we're like, well, that guy's gone.
At least he's
Which
gone.
was like really dangerous
thank God.
of us.
Yeah.
Why'd we do that?
Why did we do that?
For the
But
joke.
again, like, why did we do that?
Yeah, why did we do that? Neither one of us was interested in him.
Nope.
No. But it's funny looking back.
That's
I
really
wonder
funny.
if that guy ever talks about it.
I
He's
bet he
like,
does.
Like, I tried to go home with these girls and they just kept talking.
And then they just both
and like,
went to
what
bed.
was going on in our heads? Like, because we were not interested in him, we had no intentions of sleeping with him.
No.
In any event. Like, did we think we made a friend?
Yeah.
Like, this is normal. Like, bring the new friend. He's our new buddy now. Yeah. Like, that's how uncrazy I think we were.
Yeah.
At, like, our party stories is that we were like, oh, we just made friends with this guy. He wants to hang out.
Naively assuming some random man at the bar wants to be our friend.
There's
Oh
no
my God.
ill intent at
No.
all.
No.
No, he's just excited to be around.
I don't blame him. We're a good time.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that was the tiny cow night, which I still also don't know what that was about.
I was going to bring up the tiny cow, but I was like, that's literally all I remember is we were
There's
laughing
a tiny
about
cow.
a tiny cow.
We got in a giggle fit about a tiny cow galloping through the apartment.
This guy was just there.
He was like, oh no.
Tricked ya. We're a lot weirder than you thought we would be. Yeah, you're right. Our stories aren't like, oh man, I hooked up with that dude. That was nuts. It's like weirder,
Yeah, it's
lamer
weirder.
and weirder.
Yeah.
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 And those people at that office party, they probably still talk about us to this day.
Those
Of, like,
two
those girls
who
ate,
showed
like,
up.
all the frosting off the cupcakes.
Do you think like the kitchen staff got in trouble for bringing us in?
They should have.
Like,
They shouldn't have brought us there. That was a big mistake.
All
All right. Well, we really just gave a few bonus pizza secrets.
Yeah, you're
But,
welcome.
Pizza secrets. And that's it.
That's
I think-
our show.
Yeah, I think we got to wrap things down there. Kylie, thank you so much for joining us in
Yeah.
this recording basement.
It's about time.
Thank you for having me. I love what you guys are doing. I love that
Aw.
you've given me this opportunity to like come and speak on such a sacred place
Yeah.
and bring me into your basement. Here, talk about our friendship being close, but like
Weird.
not in a way you would think.
Yeah.
I've never been to Grace's house.
Isn't that so
Until
weird?
today.
Yeah. I mean, you've been to my parents' house many times, but like
Yeah.
you've never been to this house.
No. And
Yeah.
you've lived here a while.
Like a few years, yeah.
Yep, never been.
Well, your house is always so much nicer than mine, so we just like go to yours by default. Plus, you got a kid.
Yeah, I got a kid. And like you've dog sat for me. And so like you've spent time alone in my home.
Isn't that
like
weird?
more than we've hung out together in my home.
Yeah, I've taken a bath in your bathtub.
Good. That was a good bathtub.
That was luxurious.
You got to come dog sit at this new house because that bathtub is it.
Please, I'm like legitimately
Yeah.
dreading the
Or you
day
could just
that
like
your
come over
dogs-
as a friend. But
No, I'd like to be there without you, please.
Okay.
I prefer it. I'm dreading the day your dogs die because then I don't have a reason to be alone in your home anymore.
that's really nice.
Yeah. I
Thank
mean,
you.
also, I love them and care about them, even though one of them
Except
hates
for
me.
Lulu. Yeah.
Yeah. She's got
Yeah,
it out
she's
for
a
me.
hard nut to crack. Tough nut to crack.
Hard nut, tough nut.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. This whole podcast kind of wouldn't exist without you and your guidance. So thank you so much.
Listen,
for...
I can implant those ideas in your brain and encourage
Mm.
you, but you guys actually took action, so don't discount that.
You're right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been our fairy pod mother guiding us.
Yeah, thanks for your guidance, your
Yeah.
wise words.
Yeah.
Happy to.
Showing us how it's done. All right. You got anything you want to shout out or promote?
I have a podcast called Dark Downeast.
Believe it or
You've
not.
probably heard about it.
Yeah.
And I cover true crime stories, murders, missing persons cases, suspicious deaths in Maine and New England. You can find it.
So it's
wherever you get
similar to
podcasts.
ours.
Yeah. Really, really same genre.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
similar.
it's
Yeah.
adjacent to something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can find that wherever you listen to this pod.
No, it's very legit. I think especially now there's so many true crime podcasts that are like really tasteless and like, ooh, you're just kind of making entertainment about someone suffering.
Yeah.
Kylie's podcast is like the total opposite of that,
Mhm.
where you're like a legit investigative journalist who like
Mhm.
has so
And
much
so
integrity.
respectful.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is interesting because if you have no exposure to me before my appearance here on Woof, you would not expect my creation to
Yeah.
be so serious.
But it is.
And buttoned up. But it is. I have
Yeah.
a background in investigative journalism and I bring that to the table in my show. So it's like heavily researched,
Yes.
scripted, highly produced. I'm not talking about cupcake tops. That's for sure.
You save it for this podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're here for.
It's okay to be multifaceted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's me.
Yeah, so go check her out. And I don't know, I'd love to have you back on the podcast. I'd love to have you back just to maybe do some like TV bonus Patreon content
Oh,
with
okay.
me.
Mhm.
Or we could maybe talk about Parks and Recreation specifically.
I think we should
Ooh.
also have you back when eventually we'll talk about OCD. It's on the
Yeah.
list of many topics, but I think we should probably have you back. for
Yeah, in a
that.
couple of years when you're like ready to dive into that diagnosis.
Yeah, sure.
We'll be here
Yeah.
waiting. Great.
Perfect. I love it.
Yay. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. I love you. And you're one of my favorite friends.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Thank you.
No
A lot of
offense to my
emotions.
friends.
We're not gonna hug though, right?
No, we can smile at each other and
a
kinda
wave from
do
afar.
that with our hands. Yeah.
Okay. That.
No, I'll hug you before you leave.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. You can follow us on all the things. You can email us at weirdsofafeather@gmail.com if you have any feedback or input about Kylie's episode, anything interesting that she said that you relate to, let us know and we can read your stuff on the podcast as well. And you can follow us on Instagram. You can go join our Reddit group,
We have a Reddit
r/Weirds of a Feather. Go chat with us.
We're
You
on
can-
TikTok.
Yeah, kind of.
We got little animations.
Yep. I'm still busting those out.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Yeah. You can check out our Patreon. We're getting up and going with more bonus content.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/words of a feather. And
that's
it. Yeah.
And also check out.
Oh.
Oh.
What were you going to say?
Wow, got cut off
check
there.
out Kylie's podcast.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't.
That's-
I'm going to cut you off there with
Yeah.
a bird cry.
Sure.
Ooh.
Chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
That's a good one.
That's my
Classic.
favorite.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Man.
That's a good one.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.